as a signature piece of artwork for Riverfront Park, the Stepwell art piece was almost immediately plagued by cracks, gaps, and graffiti.
Instead of being a place for people to take in the views of the park and the river, the Stepwell is now the focus of frustration for park employees and an eyesore for visitors.
Take a walk through the park and you'll find this temporary chain link fence. Behind it is the Stepwell. The interactive art piece is part of the Riverfront Bond Development Project of 2014. It opened in 2023.
But even though you paid more than $500,000 for it, you can't enjoy it because of damage and safety concerns. Now, for those who aren't familiar, the Stepwell is right here near the pavilion. In August, we asked the park department's public information officer why the structure was fenced off. She told us it was annual maintenance, but we filed a public records request and found emails dating back more than 2 years to just after the Stepwell opened, and learned the city has known about its problems since almost the beginning.
There's no interaction right now with what's supposed to be an interactive art piece in the heart of Riverfront Park, as the Stepwell remains locked up and fenced off from the public. The city had high hopes for the Stepwell when it contracted HYA, Howler & Yoon Architecture, an East Coast firm, to turn this vision into reality.
At that time, the park board really wanted an art piece that the public could interact with. I mean, we have visual art, we have other types of arts, but they wanted something just like the Rotary Fountain. It's an art piece, but it's interactive.
The city was thrilled when it opened 2.5 years ago.
2023, we opened up the Stepwell. It looked beautiful. It was great.
But that enthusiasm didn't last long. Emails uncovered by 4 News Now showed just 4 months after its opening, Riverfront Park Director John Moog wrote, "We are astounded by how the Stepwell is being treated. You can see for yourself the graffiti covering the inside of the structure." Another city employee, Jerry Sperling, expressing her concerns over the misuse and paint, etc., that is being decorated in all types of verbiage and markings. And of course, homeless who are occupying the space as a campsite. But those weren't even the biggest problems.
To be honest, there was concerns during that selection process of the type of material that was going to be used.
That material chosen by HYA was Alaskan yellow cedar.
Really, in the first summer, we started seeing some gaps starting to show between the interconnected pieces of the Stepwell. And so we started expressing some concern about that to the architect and the artist about, should we be concerned about this?
Soon after, the city put a fence around the $583,000 art piece and locked it up over the structural concerns and to mitigate graffiti. When we asked about the Stepwell in August, the park's communications officer said the gaps were noticed several months ago. But the city's own emails show they've been a concern since shortly after it opened. In 2024, while trying to find solutions, the city was informed the Stepwell artist had left HYA, adding to their mounting frustrations. Parks operation foreman Aaron Champagne wrote in April of last year, "What a wonderful piece of chart we were given." A few months later, Park Safety and Facilities Manager Michael Prince said, "At this pace, the Stepwell art piece will not survive a couple more winters and hot summers." Parks and Rec Director Garrett Jones admits hiring an East Coast firm was not the best idea.
We've kind of changed the way that we solicit art in Parks and Rec to really have that regional, local artist feel. And I think that was just a barrier alone, being across the country and the communication, actually being able to see the site.
You can see the split between.
So where do we go from here? Moog says the city has hired a contractor to tighten up the structure again and paint it because the deficiencies are obvious.
If you look at the beam here, you can see how it's connected. You can see a little bit of a sag there.
But even he's not sure how much work it'll take before you can safely enjoy the Stepwell again.
When someone mentions it's unsafe, we want to take that seriously. So it flags it as a concern, and we want to evaluate it to its fullest. We don't know.
We don't want to give up. We want to honor the intent of what the artist had, and so it's just really trying to find that balance.
Still, Moog remains confident the Stepwell will reopen at some point.
So we are going to do the maintenance. It's going to happen. It's going to start this fall. We'll complete the painting in the spring. I feel confident that we'll be able to reopen it, but we don't yet have that assessment from the engineer, so that could very well change, and we're prepared for that too.
Now, Kirsten, you could probably sense the frustration from these city officials who are now trying to salvage this $583,000 mess. But Garrett Jones told me the lessons learned from the Stepwell will help them when they take on new projects for the Together Spokane initiative.
I'm glad you got an up-close look. I mean, you were right there. So many of us have been trapped behind that chain link fence.
And it's pretty remarkable the damage that's happened
Right.
in a short amount of time.